All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing very, very well as we continue to bask in the afterglow of a Super Bowl championship. And today was going to be a day where I mostly just focus on the game and the fact that we won. But the Seattle Seahawks are not going to let me do that, it looks like, because we have some news concerning the future of the Seattle Seahawks to talk about here. They're moving pretty quickly, it sounds like. Nothing's confirmed yet. As of me recording this video, we don't know anything for sure. And I do want to emphasize that point because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But we are getting some indicators here that the Seahawks are not going to be without an offensive coordinator for very long. And it sounds like, according to multiple people who I do place some degree of trust in, that we're going to have somebody pretty darn soon. All right, guys, hold up because my friends at Sleeper are introducing some new features, and I want to tell you guys about them before we go any further. Sleeper is launching Team Picks, a new prediction market product. So now, on top of all the over-unders you can pick over on their Sleeper app, you can now pick on games. For instance, if you take a look to my left on the screen right now, you can see you can make a pick on the Super Bowl. They also have some bonuses available on over-unders for players. So there's now way more stuff you can get up to over on Sleeper. Get on over there before the Super Bowl, and don't forget to use the promo code SBN for a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. And don't forget to utilize the free $20 entry that you get just for making an account. So the Super Bowl is almost here. Make sure you get on Sleeper and have some fun with sports. All right, so we've got this tweet right here from Greg Bell. I'm told Seahawks and coach Mike McDonald are closing in on hiring from within the team's current coaching staff to be Seattle's new offensive coordinator to replace Clint Kubiak. That's from earlier this morning, I believe. Yeah, several hours ago. So that's from Greg Bell, and then we got this from Brady Henderson. On the Seahawks' upcoming offensive coordinator search, my sense is there's a strong possibility they promote from within. And I wouldn't expect very many assistants to leave McDonald's staff to join Kubiak in Las Vegas. So that's two people who generally get this stuff right, in my experience, more often than they don't, telling us that this is not going to take very long and it's going to be an in-house hire. So that is definitely there are a few different things to discuss there, right? So let's think about who it could be. Really, there are four candidates for the offensive coordinator job if they hire from within. You have Jake Peetz, the passing game coordinator. You have Justin Outen, who has been an OC before. Very, very short-lived in Denver, and obviously that was a really, really bad year. But Outen has done some good things here in Seattle since he got here, doing some good things for the run game. Andrew Janocko, quarterback coach this last year, and he was a quarterback coach under Kubiak in New Orleans as well in 2024. And then you have the uh, shoot, I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. Yeah, I didn't want to get his name wrong. John Benton, the offensive line coach. I almost said Chris Benton for some reason, but yeah, John Benton, the offensive line coach. Those are the four guys that it could realistically be if we hire from within. So a lot of people think that Pete's is due to get an offensive coordinator opportunity. That's a guy who's been kicking around as an assistant for a little while now in football. We talked about it before. He's worked under Nick Saban. He's worked under Sean McVay, and now he's here. But you also have Janocko, who's the quarterback coach. A lot of people think that he's due for an opportunity. Uh, and Outen, people do like where his star is headed. People think that he is one of the bright minds that is up and coming in this league. So there is going to be some there is going to be some excitement if we do go this way. I would say that Benton is kind of the guy that, no disrespect because he did do a great job this year. That's a guy who's been an offensive line coach in some capacity for decades in this league or in other football leagues. And it just feels like if he was going to get the opportunity to be a play caller in the NFL, it would have happened by now. It seems like he's pretty content just being an offensive line coach. And it seems like there's some sense that that's just kind of where he caps out at. So I don't think it's going to be him. The other three, I could see it. I could see it playing out that way, though. Now, one thing that I want to say is there's no guarantee any of those guys are going to be bad because you guys know I've not been a big fan of the idea of an in-house hire. And I'm also, like I said in the video I posted a couple hours ago, I'm not a big fan of doing a quick promotion. None of that is to say that it's guaranteed that this can't work. I don't want to act like this has no chance of working out for the Seahawks. But just understand, if we do make a quick hire, if we do make a quick promotion here, if we don't go through the process of interviewing with guys from the outside, guys like, I've talked a lot about Arthur Smith, but there are going to be plenty of other guys from the outside as well. Guys like Mike Kafka, who the Seahawks have been rumored to be linked to in recent times, or maybe interviewing with somebody who doesn't have play calling, like a Clay Kubiak or a Wes Phillips or a Grant Udinsky, Adam Stenovich, these offensive coordinators on teams that are not getting play calling opportunities because the head coach does that. If you don't go through that process, it'll feel like you weren't very thorough and you didn't give things an opportunity to really speak to you. It kind of feels like you were just, all right, we lost our offensive coordinator. Let's just get kind of the guy who's already in the room here rather than going through the process of making sure we get the best guy possible. If we hire somebody quickly and it's somebody from in-house, it'll feel like maybe you did get the best guy, but it feels like you didn't go through the process. And if we go in-house, it's a mystery box. And there's nothing wrong with a mystery box. I mean, well, there's no guarantee that a mystery box is going to end up being bad, right? But there's also no guarantee it's going to be good. None of these guys have done anything in their career to indicate they're going to be good play callers. All we have is, well, they worked beneath good play callers in previous years. And in this case, a lot of these guys, I mean, you got Jake Peets, right? He worked under McVay for a couple years, and now he's worked under Kubiak. So he's had a few years under good play callers. But, look at Kevin Patullo. That's the example I'm going to go to here. Kevin Patullo was on that Eagles staff for 4 years before he got promoted to offensive coordinator this last year. So he worked under Shane Steichen, who's great, and he worked under Kellen Moore, who was great for the Eagles, at least. And I know he necessarily wasn't great before then, but great year there. He gets the opportunity to call plays in Philadelphia this last year, and he's really bad. So just because you work underneath people who know what they're doing, just because you go into that interview process and say, hey, I'm going to do all the things that my predecessor did, doesn't mean it's going to pan out that way. So it's going to be kind of a mystery here. If we do promote from within, then all I'm going to be able to say this offseason is I hope. I'm not going to have a bunch of evidence to lean on to indicate it'll go one way or the other. What I will say is that if we do hire from within, there will probably be a learning curve. And at the very least, we're probably going to have issues early in the season next year because there will be a window of time where even a good play caller needs to go through some lumps and learn some tough lessons. And I do wonder what the offense is going to be able to do early in the season. Hopefully, they're able to use a similar playbook. I mean, it's not like we're going to be playing against a Kubiak coach team. Well, maybe we might play actually the Raiders week 1. I guess that's not impossible. So hopefully we don't use our Kubiak playbook against Kubiak in week 1. But hopefully we can just lean on the inertia from this season going into 2026. So if this is the way it plays out, then I'm not saying it can't work. What I would say is that I'm not overly I wouldn't be overly confident that it would work because I don't have anything to go on. It would just be one of those things where it's like, I hope they learned the right lessons from this season, and I hope they learned the right things from somebody like a Kubiak, because not only do you have to be good, but you have to call the right kind of plays for this personnel. We need a Shanahan style of offense, under center, play action, run the ball. You do those things, you're probably going to be okay, but there's nuance even within that. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later today. Plenty more videos coming, but sounds like this is going to be over quick, so we'll see. But if we hire within the next couple of days, then that means we had already made up our minds, basically, and I would prefer to go through a long process here because we got plenty of time. There's no hurry here. Unless we think somebody on this staff is going to leave in the next couple of days, which, I don't know, that doesn't strike me as super likely, but maybe. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks.